Hey everyone, it's Devin. First, I'd like to apologize for the long gap between videos. Remy's actually back at work now, and it's causing some slight scheduling issues because I work a morning shift and she works a night shift. So Devin and Remy play videos may be on hold. They may go down to once a week. We're still looking at what we can do there. Um, in the meantime, I thought I would just make a video here just to have some content on the channel. Uh, I'm going to be reviewing my favorite Minecraft mods. Uh, so the first thing you'll notice is in the upper left-hand corner of my screen there is actually a minimap. That is Zero's minimap. It is extremely useful. You can zoom it in and out. You can set waypoints. With the waypoints there, once you get a certain distance away, it starts showing how far away you are. And if you are on a creative world or a world with cheats enabled, you can actually teleport to the waypoints. The waypoints are very useful. I find myself getting lost quite frequently when I'm out exploring, and the waypoints are a good way to not get lost. That takes us to the second mod, which is Simple Void World. In Simple Void World, it adds these cubes. They are made using Eye of Ender, a block of diamond, and obsidian. You throw them together, actually like this, and it'll make the portal to the void. When you place it and right click on it, it takes you into this completely empty world. Basically, it's an empty world. You spawn on a 7x7 block of terracotta, and you can use it for storage or as quick transport between areas, because when you have more than one of them, we'll go back to this one here, they are the same amount of blocks apart as they are in the normal world. Each one is linked to the portal in the overworld, so if you come in through this one and go back through this one, you'll be back at the original one. The other cool thing is that world is completely flat, so even if you put one up on a pedestal or if you're down by the bedrock, you click it and it's on the same exact plane as the other two. Now we'll be moving on to my favorite mod, and we'll be using the teleport to get there. Industrial Craft 2. Industrial Craft 2 is a mod that adds a lot of machines, a lot of automation. It adds 4 new ore to the world: copper, tin, lead, and uranium. Copper and tin are the most useful early on, and uranium is more for power towards the end of when you're going through the mod. So end game type stuff. Lead, I believe, only has a few uses. It also kind of ties in with the uranium to prevent radiation and such. Industrial Craft has some useful tools that you need. The Forge Hammer, Cutter, and Tree Tap are the most useful ones, and I'll show you what they do in a second. They also added bronze armor, which is the equivalent of iron armor. It may be easier or harder to get. It just kind of looks different. It's not too difficult to find. So the Forge Hammer turns ingots into plates. Plates are used in a lot of the recipes in Industrial Craft 2, and they can also be used to make item casings. The item casings are used to make electronic devices, batteries, that sort of thing. And then we have the wire cutter, which cuts plates into cables, and cables are necessary for the electricity. We also have the tree tap. You'll notice in the game there are rubber trees. They normally have more leaves than this. I just cut them all off to kind of show you what the tree looks like. You'll have these orange spots on it, and whether you have the graphics set to fancy or fast, the leaves will always look fancy. The other thing is it will always have more leaves sticking out of the top, so they are easier to find. Now with the tree tap, you right click on these brown or orangish brown spots and you get sticky resin. Sticky resin is used to make rubber, which you then apply to copper cable to make insulated copper cables. Both cable and insulated copper cables are extremely important in this mod. You may find yourself burning through them really quickly. To turn sticky resin into rubber, you need to process it through a furnace early on. One of the best things you can do early on in this mod is make an iron furnace. To do so, you take 5 iron plates and put them around a furnace, like so, in a crafting bench, and you will get the iron furnace. The iron furnace does burn faster and smelts things faster than a regular furnace. It also has this collect experience button that you can click to collect experience from it when you're smelting things. So you throw the sticky resin in there and it'll cook it into rubber. Once you have the rubber, you can just go into your inventory, and I'll have to go to the crafting bench to do this. You just go in here and you, I think it's shapeless, so you can just put it anywhere and just grab your wire. Moving on, we have some other cool machines here. We have a generator, a bat box, a macerator, an extractor, and a metal former, and I'm going to show you kind of what all of them do. So the generator obviously generates electricity by burning any sort of fuel. It can be coal, it can be wood. Coal is one of the most efficient for it though. So the generator will supply power to the battery box. And then through wiring in the back, the battery box supplies power to the other machines. Alright, so the first machine that we're going to go over out of these 3 is the macerator, because it is easily the most useful machine in the entire mod. Basically, what it does is you throw any ore into it, and it will grind it down here. It just takes a minute. And it'll give you 2 crushed ore. Now the crushed ore, each can be smelted into an ingot. So basically it doubles the number of ingots you get from your ore. It's extremely useful. If you're going to play this mod, I suggest getting one as soon as possible. It makes building all of the machines and such in this mod much easier. Moving on, we have the extractor, which you can put either rubber wood in, or you can throw the sticky resin in here. Now when you cook the sticky resin in a furnace, you only get 1 rubber. When you do it in an extractor, you get 2. The rubber wood does only give 1 rubber per wood in the extractor, so it's not as useful for the wood, but oh, actually you get 3 rubber. That is extremely useful. You will need stacks upon stacks of rubber if you're going to make any of the end game machines. The last one in this line is the metal former, which has 3 different functions. I will show you each. The rolling function basically takes an ingot and rolls it into a plate. Now this hammer has durability. It has 80 uses before it breaks, and the cutter has 60 uses before it breaks. So you can throw things through the roller, it'll roll an ingot into a plate, and then it'll roll a plate into the parts casings. And it looks like we are not charging here. 1 minute while I fix all this. Okay, so this is an important lesson here. The bat box is facing with the dot towards me and nothing is charging. One of the more useful tools in the game is the wrench. The wrench is made out of bronze, which you get by macerating a bunch of tin and copper and then combining the dusts into bronze dust. So yeah, this is facing the wrong way, so to correct that, we just go behind it. And don't click on the top because it'll pick up the machine, but if you click on any face other than the front, it'll turn the front to you, and then your machines will start charging again. So back to the metal former, we made the item casings. The other thing it can do is it can take the plates, and let me just get one here quick. There we go. If you click the button to cutting, it will cut the plates into cables so that you don't have to use a cutter. These machines all work with automation. There are several other mods that add like pneumatic tubes and such so that you can automate further. There's sorting. Overall, this mod is really fun. The last function of the metal former is extruding. Basically, you just take an ingot and put it in there, and it will turn it directly into wire, so you don't have to worry about making a bunch of plates and then cutting them. It literally cuts out that entire middle process and just creates the cable from the ingot. So next is an alternate power source, the solar panel. It takes coal dust, which is made by throwing coal through the macerator, glass, and a couple other electric parts. I believe it does generate a small amount of power if there's no sunlight, but it's not enough to really power any machines. This is usually the reason why I end up playing this mod, because for whatever reason I love the concept of solar panels in Minecraft. There's many other devices and such in this mod, such as these lights, nuclear reactors, a canning machine, and then there's some other cool stuff like coffee, a solar helmet which charges electric tools that you're holding on to, an electric jetpack which also can be charged by the solar helmet. There's upgrades for your machine to make them go faster, to let them use higher tiers of electricity, to store more energy, and you also have night vision goggles. The jetpack is pretty fun because, well, I'm in creative, so we won't really be able to see it, but if you guys enjoy this video and let me know, I'll definitely get to the point in my single player where I can make the jetpack. We've got several different tiers of energy storage with the bat box on the bottom, and this is an MFSU, which holds much more power than the bat box. These are all different types of furnaces that are added by the mod. There are just so many things added by the mod. There's an entire wiki with explanations on what they do, how they work. And back to how things face, with the automation blocks, I think there's upgrades for these machines that can eject from here into like a chest or another machine that's next to it. So the direction of the front is very important when you're placing everything. If you want to build an automated factory, you just need to make sure everything's facing the right way. Now the next thing we're going to look at is actually an expansion on the solar panel. It's added by a completely different mod. There is a mod called Compact Solar Arrays. It is dependent on having Industrial Craft 2. So here is the industrial craft solar panel. The first block that it adds is the low voltage solar array, which basically you take 8 regular solar panels, put them in the crafting bench around a low voltage transformer, which is from Industrial Craft 2, and it'll make this low voltage solar array. It makes exactly 8 times the power as a single solar panel, which makes gathering the energy from solar panels a lot more efficient and take up much less space. I enjoy this mod because it helps keep your base clean. If you need to pick up solar panels, you just click on top with the wrench. We also have a medium and high voltage solar array. The medium voltage solar array requires you to make 8 low voltage solar arrays and put them around a medium voltage transformer. It makes 8 times the power of the low voltage, so 64 times the power of a normal solar panel. And then you've got the high voltage, which it's 512 times more powerful than the original solar panel. It takes up the same amount of space. The thing is, if you're going to use anything higher than the low voltage, you will need to use these transformers to step it down so that you don't blow up your lower tier machines. Because if you connect, say, if you connect this battery box, and actually it won't work using these wires. And we have no sun, so give me just 1 second here. Yeah, so as you can see, it blows up the wire if the wire can't handle it. Now, if we take some wire that can handle it, it blows up the bat box. So you got to be careful when you're trying to keep the electricity going, because you may end up with a giant hole in your floor. It will damage you. Sometimes it could blow up other blocks next to it, like walls and such. So just keep that in mind when you're using higher power levels. And I guess that is the end of this review. I thoroughly enjoy all the mods in it. I use them in my single player game, and I may be running a server with them in the near future. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to see any other mods and you want me to review them, just leave a comment with the name of the mod, maybe a link to it. And if you want to see more Minecraft videos, feel free to comment. If there's any other content you want to see, just let me know and I will do my best to make that happen. Have a great rest of your day.